Hello and welcome to Wedding Wednesdays with Weddings Online. My name is Kelly and I'm a former wedding planner and blogger, and I'm obsessed with weddings. If you're planning a wedding in Ireland, you're in the right place. You're going to learn the tried and tested methods to planning your dream wedding without the added stress. Think of this as your one-stop shop for everything to do with planning your wedding in Ireland, with me, your new wedding planning bestie, and a cup of tea. This is Wedding Wednesdays with Weddings Online. Hello and Happy New Year to you if you are listening in real time. If you're not, that's okay, because the information that I'm sharing in today's episode will be completely relevant to you, whether you're listening in January or at some other point in the year or even in the years to come. Because today we're going through the ultimate wedding planning timeline. So firstly, let me just say, planning a wedding can feel somewhat like you've got 47 to-do lists. And you're trying to go through all the different things. Your mind is probably on fire with so many things to do, especially for those listening in real time. At the start of the year, it can feel even more so, like everything is just so real. And to add to the pressure, it's not just to-do lists that you can quickly tick off. There's a lot of emotional investment with every decision. And so I can completely understand how stepping into this year, you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed. But I'm going to walk you through exactly how to make your wedding decisions and the order in which to do so. And let me just say that this is not a rigid rule book. It's not about doing everything perfectly, but rather it's a method that you can use to help yourself stay organized. You'll feel in charge of your wedding to-do list, and you're actually going to start to enjoy the build-up to your wedding instead of feeling overwhelmed and stressed. So as a former wedding planner, when I planned my own wedding, this was the exact method that I used. I had a to-do list that was, kind of a 12-month to-do list, even though I planned my wedding in 8 months. The idea here is that it doesn't really matter how long your wedding planning journey is, it's the systems that can help you. And it worked for me. It helped me to know which decisions to focus on in the moment and which decisions could actually wait. So the thing that I find that often happens to couples is you get engaged and you start thinking about the things that you know you need to do. And sometimes those things are based on your specific priorities. So it's always a good thing to have those priorities. But sometimes the thing that you are stressed about and overwhelmed by is a thing that actually can wait. So I'll give you an example. You may be really into beauty and makeup, hair, all of that kind of thing. And while we know that having your hair and makeup done for your wedding is a big deal, it's not the thing you need to think about at the beginning of your engagement and wedding planning journey. So that's just an example of something that could wait until a little bit later on. But it represents all the other decisions that you're going to make. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to walk you through a kind of 12-month plus timeline. But no matter where you are on the wedding planning journey, it's going to help you to know what to focus on now and what can wait. And we're going to go through things in I'm not going to list every single thing really, but I'm going to go through the broad brushstrokes of what you should be thinking about. But if you want to see a written version of this episode, not just the transcript, but actually just the checklist of what to do for each month, I'm going to include that in the notes for this episode, and you can also find it on the weddingsonline.ie website. If you go to the podcast section, every episode has a written transcript, but I will also put the link for that checklist. It's a free checklist. It's going to be in this week's transcript. Let's start with 12 plus months. This really is your foundation phase. So in this part, you're going to be having big conversations. You're going to be thinking about your budget, your venue, and your guest list. So these are the things that once you've got these foundational elements in place, you can then build upon them. Just like if you were building a house, you start with the foundations before you start thinking about everything else. So you're gonna lay the groundwork. You're gonna think about what kind of wedding you want to have, who's gonna come, and where is it happening. So in its simplest form, you really are thinking about just the big things. That's all. You don't need to fill in the color. You don't need to think about the detail. You don't even need to have an idea of your theme or anything. Just think about the main important things. So if you are newly engaged, that's where I want you to start. In terms of actually booking suppliers, I recommend booking your ceremony and reception venues quite early on, because without those, your date is not actually secure and you can't really put any of the other pieces in place. So once you have your ceremony and reception venues, or venue if you're going to get married legally and have the party in the same place, once you've got that sorted, your date is therefore set in stone and everything else can come together. The next thing you want to do within this foundational phase is to work out your budget. So have those conversations with anybody who's contributing to your wedding budget. Make sure you know exactly how much they are happy to contribute, and get it in writing if you need to, in a lovely way, not in a rigid kind of way, but just make sure you have a clear idea of what's coming in. I also recommend having a look at industry standards to see what other couples have typically spent on different categories within the budget. Again, that's something you could find on the Weddings Online website. If you search for survey, you'll find the latest Weddings Online survey. And actually, we'll have another one coming out. Usually at the end of January, we have another survey coming out, and that will help you to understand some industry standards to help you allocate your budget. Then what you're going to do is you're going to want to research your dream team. So have a look at planners, at your photographers, bands, videographers, that kind of thing. So you can start piecing together some of the more foundational suppliers that are going to make your day a dream. So you do want to have some time to have some fun. So in this first phase, you want to have an engagement party if that's something you're after. You can even start trying on dresses. And if you want to build a wedding website, you could start that now too. Let's move forward to the 8 to 10 month phase of wedding planning. This is where you're going to start building your vision. So you've already got the foundations, and now you're going to start adding the color of how you make your wedding your own. So you're going to focus on things like the outfits, the colors, and things like guest accommodation, and really the experience of your guests. So it's a bit of a creative phase. You know, you're going to have a Pinterest board that's going to help bring everything to life. So at this point, you want to order your wedding outfit. You want to decide who's going to be in your wedding party. You want to do things like reserving accommodation for guests, which if you've already got a venue, it'll be helpful to know where your guests could stay. So if you're planning a destination wedding or a peak season celebration, then you want to tick off some of the big wedding suppliers at this point as well, because they do book up quite quickly. So let's fast forward to the next phase, which is 6 to 8 months before the big day. Here's where you're going to lock down on your core wedding suppliers. So remember, we've done the foundations, we've built the vision, we know what kind of wedding we want to have, we've got our date. Now we're going to look at the core suppliers. So the focus for this period of time is the flowers, the hair and makeup, and the invitations. So at this point, you want to book your florist, you want to book your glam squad, you want to order those invitations. You want to start thinking about your honeymoon, whether you want to have the honeymoon straight after the wedding, if you want to wait, have the honeymoon a little bit later, or if you want to do something like a mini moon after the honeymoon and then you wait even longer for a big honeymoon. Make that decision at this point and decide what you would like to do. So this is your lock it in phase. The team is starting to come together, and it's not just about your beautiful vision, but it's about who's going to help that vision come to life. Okay, this is where it gets fun. 4 to 6 months before the big day, it's your details and decisions phase. So the focuses here will be on the legal side of things, more details about the outfits, the rings, and the cake. So this is when you're going to send your notification of intent to marry. So if you don't know anything about the legal side of things, firstly, I don't blame you, but I want to draw your attention to episodes 9 and 10 of the podcast. We went into great detail about everything you need to know about getting legally married in Ireland. It can feel very daunting and scary because for most of you, you've never done that before. So I encourage you to have a listen. It's going to give you all the details you need to know about what to do. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to book your transport, you're going to order your cake, you're going to plan hen and stag parties or delegate that to somebody else to do. It's a good time to try on your outfit again to make sure that everything still fits, or you could start getting your alterations done at this point as well. 3 months before, you're in the trial run phase. So this is where you're going to have your hair and makeup trials. You're going to think about your music choices and your decor decisions as well. So have those trials, sort out your venue decor and any kind of signage that you want to have. And this is where you're going to feel like everything is really starting to come together. All of those plans that you've been making are going to start to come, they're going to start coming alive. And this is where you're going to feel the excitement start to kick in if it hasn't already. Let's fast forward to 2 months before the big day. This is all about guest communication. So you want to send out your invitations. You want to get your gifts for your wedding party. And if you are using any beauty products that you've never used before, test them now. You don't want to wait until the week before the wedding, because it's always recommended that you avoid new products the closer you get to the big day. You just never know if you're going to have an allergic reaction or something. So now's the time. If you're going to try something new, do it now. Okay, 1 month before, this is the confirmation phase. So you want to confirm the details with all your wedding suppliers. By this point, you would have booked them all. You've probably paid deposits, had some form of communication, but now you want to confirm the details. You want to have your final outfit fittings. You want to gather those RSVPs. You want to confirm your menu, your timeline, and any other details with your wedding venue as well. So this is really where you're going to double check things with everyone, and you're going to tie together any loose ends. Okay, we're getting closer. 2 weeks before the day. This is all about seating and speeches. So plan your seating chart, because by this point, your RSVPs have come in. You know exactly who's going to be there, and you can piece together where they're going to sit. You can write your vows. If you're doing a speech, now's a good time to write your speech. If you're going on honeymoon anytime soon and you need to get foreign currency, now's a good time to think about that. And go through your checklist one more time. You know, the checklist that you've made with your wedding venue. With 1 week to go, you want to confirm your guest numbers with the venue. You want to print those place cards, table plans. You want to make sure that your beauty treatments are done. So have those final conversations with those who are doing facials and manicures and all the rest of it. Chat with your officiant or your celebrant about what the day is going to look like. Pull the details together. So really, this is a time to kind of hand things over. So assign somebody else the task of being your supplier point of contact for the day. Make sure that you are not the project manager anymore. Okay, 2 to 3 days before, this is where the practical bits come together. So collect the suits, pack your emergency kit, double check the transport, have your spray tan, the final beauty prep, and really start shifting into wedding mode, because it's now the day before. This is about light touches and actually relaxing a little bit. So if you have anything that needs to get to the venue, it will be delivered at this point. It doesn't have to be delivered by you, but whoever's handling cakes, flowers, favors, and that kind of thing, they can hand it over. You can get a manicure. But the most important thing for you at this point is to just relax. The planning is done. There's nothing more for you to do, so just relax. And then, of course, on the day, soak it all in. Your only job for the day is to just enjoy yourself. Take it in. So many people say that it goes by really quickly, so make sure that you've got nothing else on your to-do list for the day other than to just enjoy yourself. Well, here's your encouragement as we wrap up this episode. While wedding planning can sometimes feel like it's a full-time job, with a simple timeline like this, you can really feel like you have a handle on everything. You'll know what to focus on and when to focus on these things. Thank you for listening today. The Wedding Wednesdays with Weddings Online podcast is produced by me, Kelly, and mixed, mastered, and edited by Glenn Hartman. For more wedding planning tips, advice, checklists, and more, visit weddingsonline.ie.